Jack Miller stood by the large window in his quarters, looking out at the stars. The giant space station called Harmony Point floated in the darkness of space. 17 alien races had built this place as the center of their galactic confederation, and now, for the first time, a human was allowed to be here. Jack straightened his blue uniform jacket and checked his reflection in the glass. At 42, his short brown hair showed touches of gray at the temples. His face looked tired but determined. Earth's government had chosen him as humanity's first diplomat to the stars, and he took this responsibility very seriously. The aliens had discovered Earth only 3 years ago during what they called a routine survey of primitive sectors. Most of the Confederation species viewed humans as barely civilized, like children who had only recently stopped hitting each other with sticks. This attitude annoyed Jack, but Earth's military leaders actually preferred it. Better, they think, us weak than fear us, General Adams had told him before he left. A soft beep from his communication device interrupted his thoughts. It was time for the morning council session. Jack took a deep breath and left his quarters, walking down the curved hallway toward the great meeting chamber. The corridors of Harmony Point buzzed with activity. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved about their business. Some looked almost human with 2 arms and legs. Others had multiple limbs, strange skin colors, or body shapes that defied human understanding. Most ignored Jack completely. A few stared with what he guessed was curiosity. One group of tall, insect-like creatures with hard shells and clicking mandibles watched him pass with what seemed like disgust. Vespari, Jack thought to himself. The warrior race. His briefings had warned him about them. The Vespari Dominion had conquered 3 star systems in the past 100 years and opposed letting humans join the Confederation, even as observers. The great meeting chamber was enormous, with seats for hundreds of representatives arranged in rising circles around a central speaking area. Jack found his small desk in the observer section, far from the important members. The word Earth appeared on a small display in front of him, written in the standard Confederation language he had spent months learning. Jack sat quietly, activating the recording function in his neural implant with a simple thought. The aliens didn't know humans had this technology, just as they didn't know about Earth's faster-than-light ships hiding at the edge of this star system, or the special forces soldiers aboard those ships, ready to respond if anything went wrong. The Confederation, President, a strange crystalline being called a Philidian, called the session to order. Jack listened carefully as representatives discussed trade routes, border disputes, and resource allocation. He noted which species seemed friendly with each other, and which appeared hostile. A tall, 4-armed alien approached his seat during a short break. First time at council, human? The creature asked in the Confederation standard language. Yes, Jack replied simply. He recognized the being as a Novan, a species known for their diplomatic skills. I am Representative Lyra, the alien said. My people believe in welcoming newcomers despite what others might think. She glanced toward the Vespari delegation. I appreciate that, Jack said. Humanity has much to learn from the Confederation. Lyra made a gesture that might have been a smile. Perhaps the Confederation has things to learn from humanity as well. Your species adapted quickly to contact with alien life. Many worlds experience difficulties. Before Jack could respond, Lyra was called away by another representative. The brief conversation left him feeling slightly more hopeful about Earth's chances in this complex political environment. The session continued for several more hours. Jack noticed how the Vespari representatives kept looking at him and talking among themselves. Their translator devices were turned off, so he couldn't understand what they were saying. But his enhanced hearing implant, another technology, the aliens didn't know humans possessed, picked up their clicking sounds clearly. He would have Earth's AI systems analyze the recording later. When the meeting finally ended, Jack gathered his notes and headed back toward his quarters. The station's artificial day cycle was shifting to evening, and the corridors were less crowded. He reviewed the day's events in his mind, planning his report to Earth. As he rounded a corner into a less traveled section, he heard rapid footsteps behind him. Jack turned, his hand instinctively moving toward the hidden defense tool in his pocket. 3 Vespari warriors blocked the corridor, their insect-like bodies towering over him. "Human," the lead Vespari said, its voice translator making the word sound like an insult. "You are not welcome here." Jack kept his expression neutral. "I have been officially invited by the Confederation Council. If you have concerns, please raise them through proper channels." The Vespari clicked their mandibles in what might have been laughter. "Some believe your primitive species needs more study before joining galactic society." Jack noticed a tall, gray-skinned figure waiting further down the corridor, a Zularian scientist based on the distinctive head shape. The situation was becoming clearer and more dangerous. "I am a diplomatic representative," Jack said firmly. "Interfering with me would violate Confederation law. Laws can be interpreted differently," the Vespari replied, "and accidents happen even to diplomats." Jack tensed his muscles, ready to defend himself. The implants beneath his skin could give him strength and speed far beyond what these aliens expected from a human. But fighting would create a diplomatic incident that might damage Earth's position. He never got the chance to decide. A sharp pain struck the side of his neck. He reached up and felt a small dart. His vision blurred immediately and his legs weakened. Some kind of powerful sedative, designed to work on human biology. These aliens had planned this carefully. As Jack collapsed against the wall, he managed to press a hidden spot behind his ear, activating his emergency beacon. His last thought before darkness took him was about the Vespari and their allies. They thought they were capturing a helpless human diplomat. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Jack woke up slowly. His head hurt and his mouth felt dry. He tried to move his arms but couldn't. He was lying on a cold metal table with strong straps holding down his arms, legs, and chest. The room was dimly lit with strange blue lights that made everything look unreal. As his vision cleared, Jack saw 3 figures standing nearby. 2 were Vespari warriors, their insect-like bodies towering over him. The third was the gray-skinned Zularian he had glimpsed in the corridor before, being drugged. "The human is awake," said the Zularian, touching something on a control panel. "Remarkable recovery time. The sedative should have kept it unconscious for several more hours." Jack said nothing. He was assessing his situation, noting details about the room. It looked like a laboratory of some kind, not part of Harmony Point Station. The architecture was different. He must be on a ship. "Your abduction was well executed," Jack said finally, keeping his voice calm. "But it will have consequences. Earth will not ignore this violation of diplomatic protection." The Zularian moved closer, studying Jack with large, pupilless eyes. "Earth will never know what happened to you. Your disappearance will be explained as an unfortunate accident. Perhaps your primitive human ship malfunctioned." "We are not on Harmony Point anymore," Jack said. It wasn't a question. "Correct," the Zularian replied. "We are aboard a research vessel outside Confederation-monitored space. By the time your absence is noted, we will be far away." One of the Vespari stepped forward, mandibles clicking. "Enough talk. Begin the procedure, Dr. XL. We need the information quickly." The Zularian, Dr. Zell, nodded. "I have studied human physiology extensively. While your kind are remarkably similar to several other bipedal species, you have some unusual characteristics. I look forward to a more thorough examination." Jack tested his restraints carefully, feeling for weak points. They were strong, but he could detect slight give in the metal. His captors had calibrated the restraints for what they believed human strength to be. "Why am I here?" Jack asked, playing for time. His neural implant was scanning for communication signals, trying to determine their location. The second Vespari warrior moved into view. "Your species is a threat, human. You spread too quickly, adapt too readily. Several Confederation members recognize this danger, even if the Council does not." "And you think kidnapping a diplomat will help your cause?" Jack asked. "You misunderstand," Dr. Zell said. "You are not here as a diplomat, you are here as a test subject. We need to understand human weaknesses better before your kind become a problem. The Zularian turned to a nearby table and picked up a silver device that looked like a crown, with dozens of thin needles on the inside. This neural extractor will download information directly from your brain, Dr. Zell explained. It will tell us everything about Earth's defenses, your technology level, military capabilities, everything. That looks painful, Jack observed, still buying time. For most species, yes. For humans, with your primitive nervous systems, it will be excruciating, the Zularian said without emotion. Few subjects survive with their minds intact. But we only need your knowledge, not your sanity. As Dr. Zell approached with the device, Jack knew he couldn't wait any longer. The emergency beacon he had activated before losing consciousness would have alerted Earth forces, but they might not reach him in time. He needed to act now. Jack closed his eyes for a moment, accessing his neural implant's control functions. He sent a command to activate his muscle enhancement system, military-grade technology that the Confederation didn't know humans possessed. When he opened his eyes, Dr. Zell was leaning over him with the neural extractor. The two Vespari warriors stood guard nearby, their weapons ready. "I should warn you," Jack said quietly. "There's something important you don't understand about humans." "And what is that?" Dr. Exel asked, pausing with the device hovering above Jack's head. "We're much stronger than we look." With a sudden surge of enhanced strength, Jack strained against the restraints. The metal bands groaned, then snapped with a loud crack. Before the aliens could react, Jack rolled off the table and landed in a fighting stance. The Vespari warriors reached for their weapons, but they were too slow. Jack moved with shocking speed, knocking the first warrior against the wall with a powerful strike. The second Vespari fired its weapon, but Jack dodged, the energy blast hitting a control panel instead. Alarms began blaring as Jack grabbed the stunned Vespari's weapon and fired it at Dr. Exel, who was frantically pressing buttons on a communicator. The Zularian collapsed to the floor, paralyzed by the stun blast. Jack quickly checked the fallen aliens. None were dead, just temporarily disabled. He didn't want to kill them if he could avoid it. Dead aliens would complicate the diplomatic situation even more. He found his personal items in a storage container, including his communication device. It was damaged, but the built-in emergency beacon was still functioning. Earth forces would be tracking it. The laboratory door was locked, but the control panel damage had affected the security systems. Jack pried the door open with his enhanced strength and looked into the corridor beyond. He appeared to be on a small research vessel. Through a viewport, he could see stars and the edge of what looked like a nebula. They had traveled some distance from Harmony Point. Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently. Warning lights flashed in the corridor and a computerized voice announced, "Warning, unknown vessels approaching. Weapons locked on this ship. Shields at 40%. Jack smiled slightly. Earth's special forces had arrived faster than expected. The hidden fleet stationed at the edge of Confederation space had responded to his emergency signal. Another blast rocked the ship, stronger this time. Jack braced himself against the wall as the voice announced, "Shields failing. Unknown vessels demanding surrender and immediate cessation of all systems." From further down the corridor, Jack heard shouting and the sound of running feet. More crew members, probably rushing to battle stations. He needed to find a secure location and wait for rescue. The ship's communication system crackled to life, and a human voice filled the corridors. "Attention, alien vessel. This is Commander Susan Willis of Earth Special Forces. You have illegally detained a human diplomatic representative. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Any resistance will be met with decisive force." The sound of that human voice, calm, professional, and unmistakably threatening, echoed through the alien ship. Jack could imagine the shock and confusion of the crew. They had kidnapped what they thought was a primitive human, only to find themselves facing an advanced military force they didn't know existed. Their education about humanity was just beginning. The alien research ship shook violently as another blast hit its shields. Jack braced himself against the corridor wall, listening to the panicked voices of the crew. Through a nearby viewport, he could see 3 black ships surrounding the vessel. Their sleek design was unlike anything in the Confederation fleet. Earthships. Jack moved carefully through the corridor, avoiding the rushed aliens trying to respond to the attack. No one paid attention to him in the chaos. Emergency lights flashed, and warning messages sounded in several alien languages. He needed to reach the ship's command center. From there, he could communicate directly with the Earth forces and prevent unnecessary bloodshed. Jack had no desire to start a war, only to ensure his safe return and send a clear message about the consequences of attacking humans. As he rounded a corner, he nearly collided with Dr. Zell. The Zularian scientist had recovered from the stun blast and looked terrified. "You," the alien gasped. "How is this possible? Your restraints were calibrated for twice normal human strength." "Another miscalculation about my species," Jack said calmly. "Where is the command center?" "You cannot possibly think you will escape," Dr. Zell said, backing away slowly. "Even if your primitive ship somehow found us, they cannot stand against Confederation technology." As if responding to the Zularian's words, the ship rocked with the most powerful blast yet. The lights flickered, and the computer voice announced, "Main power failing. Shields offline. Weapon systems disabled." "You were saying?" Jack raised an eyebrow. Dr. Exel's gray skin seemed to pale further. "What are you people?" "Just humans," Jack replied. "Now the command center?" The Zularian pointed shakily down the corridor. "2 levels up, but the ship captain will never surrender to primitives." "We'll see about that." Jack grabbed the scientist's arm. "You're coming with me." Together they moved through the damaged ship, climbing emergency ladders. When the lift systems failed, the crew they passed looked shocked to see the human prisoner free and in control. When they reached the command center, they found chaos. The ship captain, a tall Vespari with ornate markings on its shell, was shouting orders as crew members frantically worked at control panels. Through the main viewport, the Earthships were clearly visible, positioning themselves around the disabled vessel. "Captain," Dr. Exel called out. The human prisoner, the Vespari captain turned, his mandibles clicking in surprise and anger. "How did it escape?" Jack stepped forward. "My name is Jack Miller, Earth's diplomatic representative to the Galactic Confederation. You have committed an act of war by abducting me. But there's still a chance to resolve this without further violence." "We do not negotiate with primitives," the captain hissed, reaching for a weapon. Jack moved faster than any human should be able to, crossing the space between them in an instant and disarming the captain with a quick strike. "As I was saying," Jack continued, holding the captain's weapon, "you have a choice. Surrender now or my people will take this ship by force. I promise you won't enjoy that experience." The communication system crackled to life. "Alien vessel, this is your final warning. Lower your remaining defenses and prepare for boarding or we will breach your hull. You have 30 seconds to comply." The command center fell silent as all eyes turned to the captain. The proud Vespari seemed unable to process what was happening. "This is impossible," he finally said. "Human ships cannot match our technology. Your species barely has space travel." "Another thing you got wrong about us," Jack said. "We found it useful to let the Confederation underestimate humanity. Until now. On the view screens they could see armored figures emerging from the Earthships using propulsion packs to cross the space between vessels. Your seconds are ticking away, Captain, Jack warned. With an angry click of his mandibles, the Vespari captain gave the order. Lower all defenses. Prepare to be boarded. Minutes later, Earth Special Forces soldiers in advanced combat suits entered the command center. Their leader, a tall woman with short blonde hair, removed her helmet and nodded to Jack. Ambassador Miller. Commander Susan Willis, Earth Special Forces. Are you injured? I'm fine, Commander. Thank you for the timely rescue. Jack handed over the alien weapon. The situation is under control. Commander Willis looked around at the alien crew with a hard expression. These the ones who took you? Yes. This is Dr. Exel and Captain. Jack looked at the Vespari. Krellet, the captain said stiffly. They seem surprised to see us, Commander Willis noted with a slight smile. They thought Earth was still a primitive backwater, Jack explained. Not worth taking seriously. A common mistake, Willis replied. One that usually only happens once. Dr. Zell stepped forward hesitantly. Your ships. They moved faster than our sensors could track. They disabled our systems with precision strikes that should not be possible. Earth has been developing its technology in secret for decades, Jack explained. We decided it was better to appear less advanced while we learned about the Confederation and its politics. But why? Captain Krellet demanded. Why hide your true capabilities? History, Jack said simply. On Earth, when more advanced civilizations met less advanced ones, the results were rarely good for the less advanced group. We didn't want to make that mistake when we joined Galactic Society. Commander Willis checked her wrist computer. Ambassador, we need to move. The Confederation has detected our presence and is sending ships to investigate. Jack nodded, then turned to the aliens. You will be taken into custody and returned to Harmony Point to face Confederation justice for violating diplomatic protection laws. No one will believe this happened, Captain Krellet insisted. Humans with advanced technology, ships that can defeat Confederation vessels? The Council will think we are lying to cover our failure. They'll believe it, Commander Willis said, because we're going to show them. As they prepared to leave, Dr. Zell asked the question that seemed to trouble him most. How much of your technology have you concealed? What else are humans capable of that we don't know? Jack smiled slightly. That's the interesting question, isn't it? I guess the Confederation will have to reconsider everything they thought they knew about humanity. The Earth soldiers escorted the alien prisoners to their ships. As they walked, Jack heard Captain Krellet speaking quietly to Dr. Zell. We attacked a diplomat, only to discover he was human, the Vespari said, his voice filled with new respect and fear. And now we must face the consequences. Jack knew that after today, humanity's place in the galaxy would never be the same. The truth was out, at least part of it. Earth would need to reveal some of its capabilities now, but not all. Some secrets would remain hidden, saved for the next time someone underestimated the humans. The real diplomatic work was just beginning. Word spread quickly through Harmony Point. Within hours of the Earthships returning with the captured alien vessel, every species in the Galactic Confederation knew something important had happened. Rumors flew through the station's corridors and communication channels. In the main council chamber, an emergency session had been called. Representatives from all 17 Confederation species gathered, their voices creating a buzzing sound that filled the large room. Many looked nervous, some appeared angry. All were confused. Jack Miller sat at a new seat, no longer in the observer section, but at a main table. Beside him sat Commander Susan Willis, still in her black combat uniform with Earth's flag patch on the shoulder. They waited calmly as the Confederation president called the meeting to order. This emergency session will now begin, announced the crystalline Philidian, his voice resonating through the chamber. We face an unprecedented situation. Serious accusations have been made against members of the Confederation and, unexpected, revelations have come to light. The president gestured toward Jack. Ambassador Miller, please explain the events as you experienced them. Jack stood, his face serious but calm. Thank you, Mr. President. 2 days ago, I was attacked and abducted from this station by representatives of the Vespari Dominion and the Zularian Science Ministry. I was taken to a research vessel outside Confederation space, where I was to be subjected to painful information extraction procedures. Gasps and angry clicks filled the room. The abduction of a diplomatic representative, even one from a new species, violated the most sacred laws of the Confederation. Fortunately, Jack continued, I was able to activate an emergency signal before losing consciousness. Earth forces responded and rescued me. The individuals responsible have been detained and are now in Confederation custody. The Vespari High Representative rose from his seat, mandibles clicking furiously. This is outrageous. You expect us to believe a primitive human could overcome trained Vespari warriors, and these so-called Earth forces. Where did they come from? Humans do not possess the technology to respond so quickly in deep space. Commander Willis stood then, her expression hard. We have provided full sensor recordings of the incident. The evidence is clear. As for human capabilities, it seems the Confederation has been operating under some misconceptions. She activated a control on the table, and the large view screen at the front of the chamber displayed images of the 3 Earth ships that had performed the rescue. Their sleek black design was unlike any Confederation vessel. The CSS Defender, CSS Guardian, and CSS Protector, Willis explained. Earth defensive, vessels equipped with faster-than-light drives and stealth technology that can evade your most advanced sensors. They were stationed at the edge of this system as a precaution, while Ambassador Miller attended these meetings. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. The Morrican representative, a species known for their technological achievements, looked particularly disturbed. "Impossible," he shouted above the noise. "Our scans detected no such vessels. Humans are decades away from developing such technology." "Your scans detected exactly what we wanted them to detect," Willis replied calmly. "Earth has been developing its technology in secret for many years. We considered it prudent not to reveal our full capabilities until we better understood the Confederation and its politics." Jack took over again. "This decision has been vindicated by recent events. While we came in peace, it seems some members of the Confederation viewed Earth as a potential threat, or perhaps an easy target." The Confederation president raised his crystalline arms for silence. "These are serious matters indeed. The violation of diplomatic protection alone demands justice. But these revelations about Earth's technology raise new questions about your world's place in the Confederation." "We agree," Jack said. "Earth applied for observer status based on the assumption that we would be gradually integrated into galactic society. Given recent events, we believe this approach needs to be reconsidered." A tall, blue-skinned representative from the Aloran Republic spoke next. "What exactly are you proposing, Ambassador Miller?" "Earth requests immediate full membership in the Galactic Confederation, with all associated rights and protections," Jack stated firmly. "We have clearly demonstrated that we possess the technological capabilities required for membership." The chamber filled with voices again, some supportive, others objecting strongly. The Vespari representatives looked particularly unhappy. Their plan to study human weaknesses had backfired completely. "This is unprecedented," declared the Zularian prime scientist, his large eyes blinking rapidly. "Observer species must complete at least 5 cycles of evaluation before consideration for membership." "These are unprecedented circumstances," Commander Willis responded. "The attack on our diplomat has changed the situation. Earth must protect its interests and its citizens." Jack raised his hand slightly and Willis stopped speaking. He addressed the room in a calm, reasonable voice that somehow cut through the noise. "The Confederation has 2 options. Accept Earth as a full member, recognizing our technological achievements and right to protection under Confederation law, or," he paused, letting the silence grow heavy. "Or?" prompted the president. "Or accept that Earth will protect its interests independently, outside the Confederation framework," Jack finished. "We would prefer friendship and cooperation, but recent events have shown we must be prepared for less friendly possibilities." The implied threat was clear to everyone in the room. The humans had hidden advanced technology once. What else might they be hiding? The president called for a short recess to allow representatives to consult with their governments. As the aliens filed out, talking urgently among themselves, Jack and Commander Willis remained at their table. "Do you think they'll agree?" Willis asked quietly. "They don't have much choice," Jack replied. "The evidence against the Vesparian Zularians is overwhelming. If they reject our membership request, it will look like they support the attack on a diplomatic representative. And if they're smart, they're wondering what other technologies we might have kept hidden," Willis added with a slight smile. Jack nodded. "Exactly. Better to have humans as allies than potential enemies." When the representatives returned an hour later, their decision was clear from their subdued manner. The president spoke formally. "After consultation, the Confederation Council has voted to approve Earth's request for immediate full membership, pending the completion of standard documentation and information exchange protocols." Jack stood and bowed slightly. "Earth accepts and thanks the Council for its wisdom." We look forward to a long and productive relationship with all Confederation species. As the meeting ended, many representatives approached Jack, eager to establish friendly relations with the surprisingly advanced humans. The Vespari delegation stayed far away, their earlier hostility replaced by cautious respect. "Well played, Ambassador," the Alaran representative said quietly. "You've achieved in 2 days what might have taken decades through normal channels." "Sometimes," Jack replied, "a crisis creates opportunity. We never wanted to reveal our true capabilities this way, but perhaps it's better to have everything in the open." Not quite everything, Jack thought to himself. Earth still had secrets the Confederation wasn't ready to learn. 1 month after what many now called the Diplomat incident, Harmony Point looked different. A new section had been added to the massive space station, the Earth Embassy. Unlike the simple quarters Jack Miller had first been assigned, this was a large, impressive structure built with technology that had surprised many Confederation engineers. Jack stood at the main viewport of his new office, looking out at the stars. The view was the same, but everything else had changed. Earth was now a full member of the Galactic Confederation, with all the rights and responsibilities that came with that status. "Still admiring the view?" a voice asked from behind him. Jack turned to see Commander Susan Willis, now assigned as Earth's military attaché to the Confederation. She wore a formal blue uniform instead of combat gear, but she still carried herself like a soldier. "Just thinking about how quickly things change," Jack replied. 1 month ago, most species here thought humans were barely past hitting each other with sticks. Susan smiled. "And now they're lining up to establish trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and military partnerships. Nothing gets attention like the unexpected," Jack said, gesturing for her to take a seat at the conference table. "How are our friends from the Vespari Dominion doing?" "Still uncomfortable," Susan reported. "The 3 individuals directly involved in your abduction have been sentenced to long terms in a Confederation rehabilitation center. The Vespari government continues to deny any official involvement, claiming it was a rogue operation." "Convenient," Jack noted. "And the Zularians." Dr. Zell provided evidence that his research was approved by senior members of the Zularian Science Ministry. "They've paid a heavy fine and agreed to restrictions on their research activities for the next 5 years. Jack nodded, satisfied that justice had been served without causing a major diplomatic incident. Earth needed to show strength, but also restraint. The door chimed and a young woman entered carrying a data tablet. "Ambassador Miller, the Aloran delegation has arrived for the trade negotiations." "Thank you, Karen," Jack said. "Please show them in." As his assistant left, Jack straightened his uniform jacket. The Alorans were among the first to support Earth's membership bid and were eager to establish trade relations. "I'll leave you to it," Susan said, standing to go. "Actually, I'd like you to stay," Jack replied. "The Alorans are particularly interested in discussing technology exchange. Your input would be valuable." The door opened again, and 3 tall, blue-skinned aliens entered. They bowed slightly in the formal Aloran greeting. "Ambassador Miller, Military Attaché Willis," the lead Aloran said. "Thank you for receiving us. I am Trade Minister Lyrax. These are my assistants, Ven and Illyria." "Welcome to the Earth Embassy," Jack said, returning the bow. "Please be seated." As they took their places around the table, Jack noticed how different the aliens' behavior was compared to his first days on Harmony Point. There was respect in their manner now, perhaps even a touch of wariness. "Before we begin," Lyrax said, "allow me to express again the Aloran Republic's support for Earth's membership in the Confederation. The incident with the Vespari was unfortunate, but perhaps it has led to a better understanding between our peoples." "That's our hope as well," Jack replied diplomatically. "Sometimes clarity emerges from difficult situations." The trade discussions proceeded smoothly. The Alorans were interested in Earth agricultural techniques, which were more efficient than their own. In exchange, they offered advanced materials technology that could benefit Earth ship construction. "There is one matter of curiosity, if I may," Lyrax said as the formal negotiations concluded. "Our scientists have analyzed the readings from your vessels during the rescue operation. The technology appears to be at least 50 years beyond what we expected from Earth. Jack smiled slightly. We've found it advantageous to focus our resources on specific areas of development. Space travel and defense systems are priorities for us, given our somewhat isolated position. Most species share their technological advancements as they join the galactic community, Lyrax noted. Yet Earth kept its capabilities hidden. One cannot help but wonder why. Earth's history is filled with encounters between different cultures, with unequal technology, Susan explained. These encounters rarely ended well for the less advanced group. We wanted to avoid repeating those mistakes. A wise precaution, Lyrax admitted, though now some species worry what else humans might be hiding. We have nothing to hide, Jack said smoothly. Earth is eager to be a full and open partner in the Confederation. Nothing to hide, he thought, except the full extent of Earth's quantum communication network, the advanced AI systems that helped design their ships and the defensive capabilities of Earth's home system. Those would remain secret, at least for now. After the Alorans left, Jack returned to the viewport. 3 ships were visible, docked at the station, their sleek, black hulls standing out among the various Confederation vessels. More Earth ships would arrive soon as trade and diplomatic relations expanded. A credit for your thoughts? Susan asked, joining him. I was just thinking about how differently this could have gone, Jack replied. If those Vespari had simply left me alone, Earth might have spent years as an observer, slowly revealing our capabilities. Instead, they attacked the Diplomat only to discover he was human, Susan said with a slight smile. And now everything has changed. Not everything, Jack corrected her. The universe is still a dangerous place. Some species will see us as a threat, others as an opportunity. We'll need to navigate carefully. But we'll do it from a position of strength, Susan pointed out. No one will underestimate humans again. As they spoke, another ship approached the station, an enormous Vespari cruiser, easily 10 times the size of the largest Earth vessel. It moved with deliberate slowness, maintaining a respectful distance. The new Vespari ambassador arrives, Jack noted. Their government is sending one of their highest-ranking officials, quite a change from their previous attitude. Amazing what a little demonstration of capability can accomplish, Susan replied. Jack nodded thoughtfully. The challenge now is to build real relationships beyond fear or respect. Earth needs allies, not just frightened neighbors. That's why they sent you, Diplomat, Susan said, to build those bridges. As the sun of this distant system caught the edge of Harmony Point, casting golden light through the viewport, Jack felt the weight of his responsibility. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage sooner than planned, revealed more than intended. There was no going back. The future of Earth's place in the cosmos would be determined not just by the technology they had hidden, but by the wisdom with which they used it. And that, Jack knew, would be the true test of humanity's readiness for the stars.